Hey folks, this morning, right away, I just started to tackle some of these issues with this dirt and grass shader here because before I go into the grass, I just want to make sure that the shader is capable of everything that it needs to be to really boost its appearance across these different platforms, right? And so what we have now is this is a new dirt. It looks a little bit the same as it did before. There are new shader features and there is a little bit better texturing going on here. So if we look at this a little bit closer, it looks more like actual dirt on a baseball field. And it's got a little bit more larger depth detail, what we call the normals, all over the whole surface of the dirt. And again, we can tile that via this feature here. But instead of just having the little microscopic details of the pebbles and things in the dirt, we have a larger response here. And it just it looks really cool. It looks really realistic and cool. And I hope that that comes through on AVP. Some of the things that you'll notice here, if I just come in and stop being ADHD with the controller here, is we have better normals. The normals appear more prominently. We have a better specular response too in the dirt, in that, like, atmospheric moisture or whatever. And you can kind of see that happening now as I do the smoothness channel. Now we can tune that down and just remove any sort of specularity in it, but that does help push the detail in the normals. And so I think the most profound thing that you can see here now is the response in the normals. We did not have that quite a detail response. And if we sort of look at it, it looks okay in general here, but when you boost in the normals, you start seeing all of that nice little detail, especially when you look down on it. You can kind of see that response right there. That plays in with the specularity too. So if we tone the specularity down, we see that less. We always had the details slider here, but the details sort of blend a little bit different now. So they have different blend modes. Here, they're not entirely hooked up just yet, but by default, even in multiply, we get like more of a color saturation here when we bring those in. I just, found by looking at a lot of these ball fields where the dirt gets sort of churned up and stuff, is that they tend to look a little wet underneath, and they tend to look pretty saturated. Like, you're not going to have a gray spot here. It's going to look like red dirt. A new addition here is occlusion, and an occlusion map that's in there, and it looks like a darkening, but boy, you can't undersell what this does at the micro level. So it adds even more depth in between the pores. I called them pores as if I'm talking about skin, but in between the differences in depth of the dirt. The other benefit that it has too, if we go over here to the warning track, and the warning track just looks really cool now. It actually looks like real dirt, almost like a little like mud, but we can turn the specularity down. We look in the shadows here, and we look at our occlusion strength. Oh, and I'm on the wrong material. Okay, yeah. And we look at occlusion strength. We see what's going on in the shadows. And this is a huge thing that occlusion texturing helps with, in that it will occlude specular response and things like that in areas that are in shadow, which makes this look kind of cruddy like CG. But when we apply that, we see that we're properly occluding at the fragment level here everything that's in shadow, and it just looks better. But we can sort of adjust that to taste. All the other typical things are here for sort of desaturating, darkening, adding color, all of that stuff. I just wanted to share that because I think I'm in a good spot now to move over here to this grass and propagate the detail thing and all of that over on the grass. I really hope that this looks amazing on AVP, because this was some of the stuff as I was looking through documentation last night and actually asked Claude Sonnet and ChatGPT. I said, what can we do on AVP polyspatial? Like, why would my detail in my dirt come through and look flat or whatever? It actually said that's a common problem because of the BRSDF, this based on the image-based lighting, and it flattens everything out with this ambience and you lose, and that you have to sort of punch your normal detail higher than normal when it gets passed through to Reality Kit to get that detail to show. And hopefully we're pushing it through enough. If not, I think we can set this slider here to go beyond a value of 1. There may be performance implications with that, but we could push even more detail if we need to. The other thing we could do too is maybe this tiling factor on the dirt here. I like to tile it really high so it has a really granular look, but it doesn't honestly look bad tiled like that, and it actually shows a lot more of that sort of imperfect organic detail. So it's really to taste. Maybe I'm just tiling the dirt too much. I don't know. I put a lot of user inspector controls here so that we can granularly hone in on that. Anyway, I'm not going to take everybody's entire morning up, but that's the update.